Hi there, sophomores. Welcome to English. It is Tuesday. All right, head over to your classwork tab and check out today's quick write, please. Make sure it's 5 complete and quality sentence per usual. Also, your quick write from yesterday, today, tomorrow, and Thursday are all due Friday at 3:30 p.m. Your Friday quick write is due Monday at 3:30 p.m., okay? Make sure you're getting those done and turned in. So, yesterday, we read The Round Table. Okay, so this was a kind of short play talking about how the idea came about for the round table. So I just want to talk a little bit about that, make some historical and cultural connections, and then you're going to work on some questions that go along with it, okay? So, The Round Table. This play was basically a giant conversation between Arthur and his queen Guinevere. So Arthur is having a lot of trouble at this point in time because 5 years ago, when Merlin helped him get the throne, he promised his wife Guinevere, his queen, that he'd be amazing. But he doesn't think he's amazing anymore. He's like, what have I really done? And so he's mulling this over because Merlin isn't with him anymore. So he's having a hard time coming to the conclusions that Merlin would have originally helped him with. So he's talking about it and he's like, well, he eventually comes to the conclusion that chivalry is broken. Instead of might for right, it's might is right. So using force is all the knights that use force are in the right, no matter what, as of now. But he wants to change that. And so he goes through the musings and he decides on changing the rules of chivalry. He is going to forcibly change the way chivalry was being viewed at his time, which had kind of strayed from the original chivalry. So he decides on a table and having all the knights come together and they'll discuss things and make laws and uphold the right. And they'll become might for right instead of might is right. But Guinevere brings up a good point. She's like, well, don't you think you're going to have all these knights who already think they're better than everyone else fighting over the head of the table? That's not going to end well. And so it is suggested they have a round table. No one would be at the head of the table. Everyone would be equal. And for some reason, Guinevere already has connections to get the perfect round table. So he decides to make the proclamation and tell everyone what his plan is. That was the round table. So as you can tell, when this play was written, they kind of strayed a little bit from what we read yesterday. They definitely took the ideas from the death of Arthur, but they changed it to make it more interesting for him. So here's Arthur talking about how Merlin changed him into different animals to see what he needed to learn from nature and things like that. So they added the magic that we think of now into the story of King Arthur. Okay. Some historical connections I wanted to cover. So when Camelot debuted in 1960, John F. Kennedy was campaigning for president. In an interview that year, future First Lady Jackie Kennedy noted how much her husband loved the musical, and especially the lines, "Don't let it be forgot that once there was a spot for one brief shining moment that was known as Camelot." When Kennedy became president, his administration was dubbed Camelot, with Kennedy, like King Arthur, turning the brightest and best to help fulfill his goals for the nation. So, if you've heard of that in history, as the Kennedy administration being called Camelot, it likely came from the fact that he loved this play so much. Also, some cultural connections, okay? In 1485, printer William Caxton included this statement of his purpose for printing the first edition of Thomas Malory's manuscript. To imprint a book of the noble histories of the said King Arthur, and of certain of his knights, after a copy unto me delivered, which copy Sir Thomas Malory did take out of certain books of French, and reduced it into English. And I, according to my copy, have done set it in imprint, to the intent that noble men may see and learn the noble acts of chivalry, the gentle and virtuous deeds that some knights used in those days, by which they came to honor, and how they that were vicious were punished, and oft put to shame and rebuke, humbly beseeching all noble lords and ladies, that shall see and read in this said book and work, that they take the good and honest acts in their remembrance, and to follow the same. So, the printer who printed the first edition of the Thomas Malory manuscript, which is what we read from the other day, last week, was actually printing this in hopes of spreading the chivalry into his time as well. So, just a few words for thought. If you head over to the assignments under classwork, you're going to find an assignment called Questions on the Round Table. And it's just going to be a few short answer questions that you can just answer right then and there, okay? All right. If you have any questions, please let me know. I do have office hours today, but they're going to be a little shorter. I have some meetings today. So I will be on my office hours from 8 to 10, and then I'm going to get off for my meetings. But to make up those hours, I will be on tomorrow from 10 to noon. So you can video chat with me if you have any questions or just want to do your weekly check-in. Make sure you're getting those done. I've gotten a few, but not too many yet. And you can come on and say hi. So, all right, that is what I have for you, your quick write and the questions. So good luck and have a good day.